Three stories. Two are completely false. One is 100% real. Can you guess which one is true?
Be careful. Some of these stories sound incredibly convincing, Shu, but science will prove them wrong.
Hey everyone, welcome to True or Trick, the show where we test your instincts and challenge what you think you know. I'm Julian, and this is Riley, and today we've got three unbelievable stories for you.
Will you be able to separate fact from fiction? Stick around until the end to see if you guessed right.
It was a warm summer afternoon in 1911 when the Zanetti Express, a brand new luxury train, departed from Rome, Italy for its maiden voyage. The passengers, 104 wealthy travelers, were excited about the comfortable ride through the beautiful Italian countryside. As the train approached a tunnel near Lombardy, something bizarre happened. Witnesses claimed that the train entered the tunnel, but it never came out the other side. Railway workers searched both ends of the tunnel, but the train had completely vanished, as if it had never existed. No wreckage, no tracks leading away, no signs of an explosion or derailment. It had simply disappeared into thin air. For decades, the story of the Zanetti Express became one of Italy's most famous urban legends. Some claimed it had fallen into a time rift, while others suggested it had been swallowed by another dimension. Then, in 1953, something unexplainable happened. Near a remote railway station in Mexico, a rusted, old-fashioned train appeared out of nowhere. The station workers were confused. It didn't match any known schedule, and no other trains had been expected that day. As they approached, they noticed something even stranger. The passengers inside were still dressed in 1911 attire. They were confused and disoriented, insisting they had just left Rome that morning. Their train tickets were dated 1911 and had the official stamp of the Zanetti Railway Company, which had ceased to exist decades earlier. Before authorities could investigate, the train vanished again, just as mysteriously as it had appeared. Some believe it was a time slip, a rare phenomenon where people and objects accidentally fall into a loop in time. Others claim it was a government experiment gone wrong, covering up an impossible event. But skeptics argue that the story was nothing more than a fabrication, as no official records of the train's disappearance exist.
In July 1954, a well-dressed businessman arrived at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, Japan. He carried a perfectly legitimate-looking passport, had multiple visas and stamps from different countries, and spoke fluent Japanese and several European languages. Everything seemed normal until airport customs officials looked closer at his passport. The man's official documents stated he was from a country called Taured, a nation that didn't exist anywhere on Earth. Confused, airport officials asked him to point out Taured on a map. Without hesitation, he pointed to Andorra, a small country located between France and Spain. But when he saw the name Andorra, he became visibly upset and confused. He insisted that Andorra didn't exist and that his country, Taured, had occupied that land for over 1,000 years. His driver's license, bank documents, and company records were all issued by Taured with official seals. His passport had entry stamps from multiple countries, including Japan, proving he had traveled there before. Officials detained him at a nearby hotel while they investigated his identity. His room was guarded all night to make sure he wouldn't escape. The next morning, he was gone. The room was completely empty. No belongings, no documents, no signs of forced escape. His records at the airport vanished, as if he had never arrived. Japanese intelligence agencies, along with Interpol, searched for any trace of him, but no person matching his description was ever found again. So who was the man from Taured? Some believe he accidentally slipped between dimensions, arriving in our world from an alternate timeline. Others think he was a time traveler, but if so, why did he believe his country was real? Skeptics claim it was a hoax, yet no one has ever found any official airport records proving it was fabricated. To this day, the man from Taured remains one of the most baffling, unsolved cases of the 20th century.
In 1899, famous inventor Nikola Tesla was conducting experiments with wireless electricity in his Colorado laboratory when he picked up a strange radio signal. Tesla was convinced that the signal was coming from Mars. The signal was mathematical in nature, repeating in an organized way, something that should not occur naturally. He later stated, "I have intercepted messages from another world, from beings far superior to us in intelligence." His claims were dismissed as impossible. However, in 1924, astronomers detected another unexplained radio signal, one that seemed to come from deep space. For decades, scientists speculated, was it an alien transmission? Could Mars have once had an advanced civilization? Was Tesla the first human to receive proof of extraterrestrial life? The mystery deepened when, in 1960, the U.S. military detected a strange, repeating radio pulse. But unlike Tesla's signal, this one was coming from orbit around Earth. Some theorists believe Tesla's signal may have been the first detection of the Black Knight satellite, a rumored alien probe that has allegedly been orbiting Earth for over 13,000 years. Skeptics argue that Tesla's signal was just radio interference, but even today, scientists don't know where the 1924 signal actually came from.
So, which one do you think is true? Drop your guess in the comments before I reveal the answer.
Three stories, one is real, two are pure fiction. Did you guess correctly? Story number one, false. The train that arrived 42 years late. As fascinating as it sounds, there are no official records of a train mysteriously disappearing into a time rift. The Zanetti Express? Total myth. No historical evidence supports this eerie tale, just a legend that refuses to fade. Story number two, true. The man from Taured. This one really happened, at least according to eyewitnesses and reports from 1954. A well-dressed man arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport, presenting a passport from a country no one had ever heard of, Taured. When questioned, he insisted his country had existed for centuries, located between France and Spain. His passport was filled with official stamps and his bank account and business dealings checked out. Authorities, baffled, placed him in a hotel under surveillance while they investigated, but by morning, he was gone. No sign of a break-in, no way he could have escaped unnoticed. His passport, documents, and even his presence in official records simply vanished. To this day, no explanation has ever surfaced for the case of the man from Taured. Story number three, false, the signal from Mars. Nikola Tesla did claim to receive mysterious signals in 1899, believing they might be from intelligent beings on Mars. However, modern scientists argue that he was likely detecting natural cosmic radio waves. No verified evidence has ever suggested extraterrestrial contact from the red planet. So, were you fooled, or did you see through the mystery? Let us know in the comments.
And that's it for today's episode. 3 unbelievable stories. 2 were completely made up, and 1 was 100% real. Did you guess correctly? Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and other times a well-told lie can sound incredibly convincing, but that's why we're here, to challenge your instincts, test your logic, and keep you on your toes. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe for more mind-bending stories, and let us know in the comments which story fooled you the most. See you next time for another round of True or Trick. Until then, stay curious,